Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're all enjoying this beautiful sunshine that we've been spoilt with as I'm down here in gorgeous Mornington today on the Mornington Peninsula. So at the school, as you might be able to hear. When I've finished, hopefully I'll be able to get over to the beach and have a little bit of a wander around. So lots of parents are asking for tips and strategies around managing kids over the school holidays. My name's Dr. Brooklyn Storme. I'm the Director and Principal Psychologist here at Cerebellum Consulting, and I'm here to help. So I guess the first thing to do is, of course, plan ahead. And by planning ahead, I mean maybe looking at the sorts of things you might be able to structure into your day that keep the children occupied but still allow you the time that you need to get on with the things that you have to do. Just because they're on holidays doesn't mean you are. Your life still has to continue. So we need to, sorry about the bell, we need to figure out how we can get this really good balance in for you. And the best way to do that is by planning ahead. A lot of parents say that sometimes the kids just like to run amok on the holidays, and you know, that's true. Some of them do. They're on holidays, and the whole idea of a holiday to a child is to be free of the school routine. They don't have to get up at a certain time anymore. They don't have to come home at a certain time. But what you can do is establish a different routine at home. You can have a school holiday routine. And what you'll find by doing this is that the children calm down because they know that there's a plan. They know that each day is going to be a little bit different to the one before, and in knowing what's going to be happening, it helps take away some of their stress and some of their anxiety. So what you can do is mimic some of the things that happen at the school. For example, in the classroom on the board, the teacher writes down a list of activities like a timetable. So it might say, you know, 9 o'clock till 9:30, we're going to do Indonesian. 9:30 till 10:15, we're going to do spelling. 10:15 to 10:30, we're going to eat. 10:30 to, 10:50, we're going to have a recess. Things like this. And the teachers explain to the children every morning this timetable, what's going to happen. You can implement a similar thing at home. You can get the children around in the morning and you can say, okay guys, this morning we're having breakfast at 8:30. At 9 o'clock you've got free play till 9:30. 9:30 till 10:30 we're going to do the grocery shopping. 10:30 to 11 you've got free time. 11 till 12 maybe it's homework or whatever it is. But explaining the structure of the day to the children at the beginning of the day sets them up, and then they know that they're going to have some things that they've got to do that are non-negotiable, like go grocery shopping with you, but they also know that they're going to have some free time in there as well. Another good idea too is to discuss tomorrow's timetable tonight. So when you're tucking them in and you're reading them a story, that can also be a good time to say, oh, I'm really excited to spend tomorrow with you because in the morning we're going to get up nice and early and we're going to have delicious breakfast, and then you're going to come with me and we're going to do some shopping, and then after that you're going to have a play date, and then after that daddy's coming home, or whatever it is. So you're putting the thought in their mind at bedtime. This gives them something to think about as they're going off to sleep. It's on top of their mind when they wake up in the morning. You're reinforcing it over breakfast. So get into the habit of structuring the day, and I think you'll find that you've got a much calmer household over the school holidays, and home is just a much nicer place to be. If you are noticing some behaviours that you're really not a fan of, bear in mind that not all the time, but a lot of the time, some of these misbehaviours are a children's strategy or attempt at getting some time with you, albeit good or bad. So maybe stop for a moment and think about how much one-on-one time you're getting with each of the children. And if you feel like you could be getting a little bit more, try and figure out a way of structuring that into the day. So you might, well, you know, when I was growing up, My mum, I think I told you before, I've got 5 brothers and sisters, and my dad was working when we were on school holidays. We had a great big pine table in our little kitchen. We had 8 chairs at the kitchen table, and what my mum used to do was she'd have an activity for each of us. So there'd be 6 activities. So there might be a puzzle, there might be some Play-Doh, there might be some colouring, there'd be a book to read. So we used to get these books by Graham Base called Animalia, and I think you can still get them now, but they're books that go through each letter of the alphabet, and they're illustrations, and on each page you have to look to see how many things you can find with that letter of the alphabet. So we'll have that, and then maybe we might have something else to do. Maybe it was creating jewellery or something like that, and then we'd have another activity which was probably something from memory like Lego. So what my mum would do with 6 children is she'd set us all up, and she would let us all do each activity for about half an hour, and then we'd have to stand up and move on to the next activity. So we just kind of went around in a circle like this, and everybody got a turn at an activity. So looking back, I think she was a genius to figure this out, because you know, it gave her a few hours to do the things that she needed to do. And I remember, because we were at the kitchen table, she was in the kitchen behind the bench, and she was cooking, like making dinner and putting casseroles together, and, you know, organising food for the next day and goodness knows what. So doing something like that is just an example of the structure that you can have, and how you can still get on with doing the things you need to do with a little bit of planning first. So just an idea. The other idea, as I said, is spending a little bit more one-on-one time with the children. The third idea is getting outside. It doesn't have to cost you any money at all, but you can take kids down to the beach, you can go to the park next door, you can go for a walk around the block, things like that. But getting the children outside and giving them fun games to play outside is a great way of passing the time, and it's also a great way of getting them off their devices and more connected with you and connected with each other. So if you're outside, you might do I Spy. You could do mindfulness activities, and you could lay down in the grass with them, holding hands, and you might ask them to close their eyes, and you might ask them to settle their breathing, and you might ask them to mentally pay attention to, you know, 4 different sounds that they can hear. Things like that. And then after they've had a rest, you might all sit up and talk about the different sounds that you heard. Maybe you all heard sort of common sounds, but maybe some of you heard a sound that the others didn't, and that's a really good talking point, you know. And it's a fun activity, and then have a little snack with them afterwards or something like that. So the school holidays can disrupt your normal week. I know that, I hear it a lot, but I guess too, it's also an opportunity for you to bond with the kids again, to get to know them again. They're changing every day. They're saying, you know, different things every day. Their little quirks and idiosyncrasies are coming out every day, and they're just so much fun to be around, and they love you to bits, and you love them to bits. So this is your time for extra hugs and extra cuddles and extra love, and making extra good memories. Anyway, they're just my top tips for managing with the school holidays. I hope they're of some help to you. Thank you so much for joining me. We are still open over the school holidays, but won't be working at the schools. If you'd like to have an appointment, you're most welcome. You can book online or book through calling our interns. The number is 8765 2434. We'd love to see you. Yes, we're open after hours as well, and on weekends. Have an awesome day. Get out and enjoy the sun if you can, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 52 of the 90 Day Share. Thanks, guys.